Welcome. We're going to break down the absolute core components of your immune system. Understanding how your body spots a threat, builds these super specialized weapons, and then calls in the heavy reinforcements. Well, it's totally fundamental to getting a handle on both health and disease.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to identify the intruder. That's the antigen. Then we'll meet the specialized first responders, the antibodies. After that, we'll bring in the reinforcements, this amazing thing called the complement system. And to wrap it all up, we'll see how this all plays out in the real world of medicine.
First up, what is our immune system actually fighting against? Let's get to know the molecule that sounds the alarm. Well, the answer is a molecule called an antigen. The easiest way to think about it is like a foreign flag or a uniform that your immune system just doesn't recognize. Anything that makes your body go, hey, wait a minute, you're not from around here, and then start churning out antibodies to fight it, yep, that's an antigen.
Now, this right here is a really crucial distinction. Antigenicity is just the ability to bind with an antibody that already exists. But immunogenicity, that's the real power. That's the ability to actually provoke your body into making antibodies in the first place. So the key thing to remember is this. All immunogens are antigens, but not all antigens are powerful enough to kickstart that immune response all by themselves.
Yeah, some molecules are kind of like spies. They're just too small or too simple to get noticed by the immune system's radar. We call these haptens, or partial antigens. On their own, your body just completely ignores them.
But watch what happens when that little hapten latches onto a much larger carrier protein. All of a sudden, this new combo becomes a complete, fully immunogenic antigen. It's now big enough and loud enough to trigger a massive immune response. It's like a tiny, quiet whisper suddenly getting blasted through a giant megaphone.
So how does the immune system get so incredibly specific? Well, it doesn't recognize the whole intruder. It recognizes a tiny, specific part of it, called an epitope. You can think of the epitope as the lock, and the part of the antibody that fits it perfectly, that's the key, which we call the paratope. This precise lock and key fit is what makes our immune response so unbelievably targeted. And these locks, they actually come in two main flavors. T cells are pretty straightforward. They tend to recognize what we call linear epitopes, just a simple, straight sequence of molecular building blocks. B cells, though, they're a bit more sophisticated. They can recognize conformational epitopes, which are these complex 3D shapes that only form when a protein folds itself into its unique structure. Okay, so the alarm has been sounded, the threat has been identified. Now it's time to call in the special forces, the antibodies. Antibodies, which you'll also hear called immunoglobulins, are these amazing Y-shaped proteins. They're built from what we call heavy and light protein chains, and right there at the very tips of that Y are the variable regions. Those are the keys, the paratopes that are perfectly, and I mean perfectly, shaped to bind to one specific epitope on one specific antigen. And this isn't a one-size-fits-all army, not at all. Our body actually makes 5 different classes of antibodies, and each one has a highly specialized job. IgG is like your main infantry, the workhorse patrolling your blood. It's so tough it can even cross the placenta to protect a fetus. Then you've got IgA, that's your border patrol guarding all the entry points in saliva, tears, and milk. IgM is the first responder, the SWAT team that shows up in huge numbers at the very beginning of an infection. IgE is the specialist for things like allergies and parasites. And IgD? It's kind of like a sentry, sitting on the surface of B cells, just waiting to get the signal. And their structure totally dictates their function. Just look at IgM. It's this massive 5-unit structure, a pentamer, which makes it an absolute beast at grabbing onto pathogens and clumping them all together. Secretory IgA, on the other hand, is a dimer, just 2 units, which is the perfect shape for being secreted into places like breast milk to provide that critical frontline defense. Antibodies are so much more than just little biological handcuffs. They are active, versatile weapons. They can physically block a virus from getting into your cells. We call that neutralization. They can also tag invaders with a biological eat me sign so that scavenger cells know to come and gobble them up. That's a process called opsonization. And as we're about to see, they're also the ones who make the call to bring in the heavy artillery for the final, devastating blow. So what happens when the antibodies have the enemy pinned down, but it's not enough? Well, that's when the body calls in the reinforcements. And I'm talking about the heavy artillery, the powerful, fast-acting complement system.
Now, complement isn't just one thing. It's a whole network of over 30 different proteins that are just circulating silently in your blood, waiting for a signal. But when they get activated, they set off this incredibly fast domino effect, a cascade that just explodes the immune response, triggers inflammation to quarantine the area, and starts directly attacking pathogens with lethal force. And this whole system can get kicked off in three main ways. The classical pathway, that's the one triggered by antibodies that have already found their target. But then you have the alternative and lectin pathways. These are more ancient, more innate. They can be triggered directly by the surfaces of invaders themselves. No antibodies required. But here is the truly elegant part. It doesn't matter how it starts. All three of those pathways, they all lead to one single critical point, the activation of a protein called C3. Think of this as the main switch. Once C3 is flipped, the system's full destructive power is unleashed. And all of that power gets focused into creating one ultimate weapon, the membrane attack complex, or for short, the MAC. The final pieces of that complement domino cascade come together to build this incredible structure right on the surface of the enemy cell. The MAC's job is simple, and it is absolutely brutal. It literally assembles itself into a molecular drill and punches massive holes into the pathogen's membrane. Water and salts rush in, the cell swells up like a balloon, and then, boom, it bursts and dies. We call it cytolysis, and it is a ridiculously effective way to end an invasion. Okay, so understanding this whole intricate defense network is fascinating, right? But it's not just an academic exercise. This knowledge has fundamentally revolutionized how we diagnose and treat all kinds of diseases. One of the most brilliant applications, hands down, is the creation of what we call monoclonal antibodies. See, before this, a lot of treatments were kind of like using a shotgun. But with this technique, scientists can mass produce billions of copies of one single ultra-specific antibody. It's like creating a magic bullet that only goes after one specific target. We can literally manufacture the perfect key for a very specific disease's lock. It's a total game changer. And the impact has been, well, it's been revolutionary. These engineered antibodies are now frontline treatments for certain cancers, designed to hunt down and kill tumor cells while leaving healthy cells alone. They can help calm down the friendly fire of autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. And they're the absolute backbone of countless diagnostic tools, from the pregnancy test you can buy at a drugstore to super sensitive lab assays that can detect the tiniest trace of a disease. Now, on the flip side, we can also see just how critical this system is when something goes wrong. If someone has a genetic deficiency in their complement proteins, their defenses are seriously weakened. It can make them incredibly vulnerable to getting the same bacterial infections over and over again because that heavy artillery is just missing. And in other cases, the system can get triggered by mistake and actually start attacking the body's own tissues, which is a major factor in autoimmune diseases like lupus. For doctors, measuring complement levels in the blood is now a crucial diagnostic tool to see if the system is either not working hard enough or if it's dangerously overactive. So when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, from that first moment an intruder is recognized to the perfectly tailored antibody response to the overwhelming force of the complement system, it's just this incredibly elegant and powerful defense network. It all works together. And it leaves us with a really compelling question. Now that we're learning how to actually engineer these very components, what's the next frontier? What new therapies and cures are just waiting for us to unlock?